Emerging from the bathroom about 20 minutes later, Rain looked around. "Where's my new buddy?" she asked as she pulled her hair into a ponytail.
"Rosa's been deported for bad behavior,"
Vance said without looking back.
"I can't believe you. You've corrupted my minion. How the fuck is that even possible?"
"I just have an award-winning personality," she said sarcastically. "Come on, I have to pay for this room, and I need to find a job or we're on the street tomorrow."
"That's great. You need a job. How does that have anything to do with me?"
"You'd rather go back to Zero Realm?"
"Then deal with you? That's a tough contest."
"Look, princess, unless you want to go out there and work, you have no say, got it?" Vance snapped his fingers, causing a flux of darkness to swim across his hand. Opening overhead, a black portal appeared, spewing forth several bundles of $100 bills.
"What the hell is this?"
Rain asked. "You've been holding out on me."
"You never asked."
"Did I need to?"
"Look at the way you've been treating me, then ask me that again."
"Did I need to?"
"You're a bitch, you know that? That's all you're gonna get, so you better make sure it lasts, because with an attitude like that, you'll be lucky if I ever do you a favor again."
"Just accept the fact we're bound together. I'm that ex-wife you can't get rid of. Deal with it." The look he gave her was seething.
"If you were my wife, I'd kill myself. I'm just doing what I do. You wouldn't kill a bear for doing what it does any more than you'd kill a human for skinning a cow. You can keep a tiger in a cage and feed it chopped meat, and people think it's a wonderful creature, but if they run into one in the wild, they'll kill it because it's liable to kill them. What nobody seems to realize is that the animal in the zoo is exactly the same thing and would do exactly the same thing if given the chance. That's the difference between you and I. You're in the zoo, so you're acceptable. I'm not."
"We both know I can't set you free, Vance. What the hell is it you want?"
"Nothing. Doesn't matter. If you have something you want to say, go ahead and say it, because this is the last time I'm going to have this or any other conversation with you."
"What's your problem? Can't we just put this past us?"
"My problem, if you must know, is that ever since I set foot in that infernal town, something hasn't been right. I feel things I've never felt before, things I shouldn't feel. It's some kind of anomaly, and I mean to correct it. Everything else is incidental."
"Can we just start over? I'm so tired of this, Vance. I'm done arguing the same moot point. Let's just get through this. You think I like trying to be nice or friendly? I didn't have these problems back at school. You can't go back."
"That's where you're wrong. You might be stuck with the pain you've endured, but I have a choice. I don't have to deal with this, and frankly, I don't need or want to. See, unlike you, I have a reset button."
"What good is a reset button going to do you?"
"I'll tell you what good it's going to do," he replied. "For one, I don't have to feel like shit all the time. For two, I don't have to listen to you, or rather, I don't have to care. That in of itself is worth it. I'm not supposed to feel remorse or sadness or regret, and I'm sure as hell not supposed to feel bad about myself. Forget that. That's not in the job description. I don't know what could have possessed me to try and be decent, but I guess I should be thanking you. If it hadn't been for you and your whole nobility gig, I might have forgotten who I am. So in the long run, it works out better for the both of us."
"Stop being ridiculous. You can't change who you are."
"I know, which is why it was foolish for me to try."
Rain looked at him tiredly. "You'll get over Liz, really. I heard it happens."
"Liz isn't everything. She's just one more stake through the heart. Something's wrong with me. I shouldn't feel anything. I don't have friends, I don't have family, and I certainly don't regret what I am."
"It's called being human, Vance. You said it yourself. You're not a full-on demon."
"I'm not a demon at all." He shook his head. "Soren's right, okay? He's been right about everything. I'm a monster, Rain. I know it, you know it, everybody knows it. There's no point in pretending to be something other than that. It only causes problems like these. You shouldn't give false hope to people who don't have a snowball's chance in hell to begin with."
"You're the one who said we were so similar. If there's no hope for you, then what hope is there for me?" She felt a pang of regret, and it didn't sit well with her at all. "Vance, reconsider."
"Do you really care, or are you just saying that because I manipulated you into thinking you should?"
"You manipulated me?"
"I might have said some things that influenced your perspective."
Rain's eyes became the color of blood. "And what'd you do that for? Did you just want me to argue with you or something?"
"No," he shook his head. "I'm not sure what I thought anymore. I guess maybe I just wanted someone to relate to. Maybe I thought you'd let me go."
"You're never going to get me to let you go, Vance."
"I know,"
he sighed. "Don't reset."
"Why?"
"You're better this way. You're not that bad of a person. At least you've started to show some remorse."
"Better?"
He turned to glare.
"I'm not better like this. Remorse should not be part of the equation. It's both counterproductive and self-destructive. Things that don't abide by their own nature wind up eliminated."
"I'm still alive," she pointed out. "Why do you have to conform?"
I'm not trying to conform. Conformity is a sick joke. Besides, if everyone you've ever known has told you the same thing, then logic dictates that thing has to be true.
Well, if we're so similar, then why am I not like that?
Maybe Soren was right about you. Maybe that's why he gave you this chance.
I don't know why he gave me this chance, she laughed. Vance, however, wasn't laughing. As a matter of fact, there were tears running down his face. Rain looked stunned. Why are you crying?
Because,
he said without much thought.
I'm still hungry.
Unsure of what to do with the crying soul eater, she looked at a loss. It's okay. If you're hungry, we can go.
No. I don't want to deal with the consequences of that right now. You and I both know we'll just get into another argument.
Shaking his head, he sighed and sat up.
You know, you really are a strange bird. I've never seen someone who wields darkness put themselves so close to the light. It's mind-boggling and a little bit frightening.
I'm not close to the light. Running away from Leah's house and defying her mentor made her feel like she was avoiding it altogether.
You saw through me. You're closer than you think.
I've had practice.
Oh, really?
A smile crossed his face.
So, why Vegas?
Easy money. Not a big place for vampires considering the desert.
Sin City, huh?
Vance didn't remark on it any further.
I guess it would be pretty empty territory. Not that I can't hold my own. Easy money, however? You have no idea how easy.
I figured you'd enjoy it for what it's worth.
No, you figured you could use my talents to rob the casinos blind.
Are you not an avid card player?
Honey, I'm the best damn card player there is.
I'm sure.
You doubt me?
He crossed his arms.
I invented the devil's wager. And what better way to lose your soul than over a couple of poker chips?
Rain rolled her eyes. I was taught by the person who invented poker.
Invention is one thing, but perfection?
A ripple of black energy coursed through his fingers, manifesting a set of sixes, one of each suit. With a slight flick of his wrist, he tilted the cards downward, fanning them up again to reveal all 4 aces with a grin.
That's an entirely different story.
You cheat, Rain accused.
No.
He shook his head and the cards vanished.
Not usually.
I suppose we should head out then and put it to the test.
You're on. I'm gonna need a new face, though. Or maybe an old one.
Make sure it's some homeless man.
Are you kidding? Why replace something you've already got?
With the snap of his fingers, Vance's entire persona shifted back to Rorik's, giving her an all-too frighteningly familiar grin. The only difference was the fact that his eyes were still his own.
What do you think?
He chuckled.
Scary enough for you?
I hate blondes, Rain said dismissively, although beneath the surface she was thoroughly disgusted.
You're not the only one. Thank God it's not permanent.
Is that why you almost made out with one?
There's a difference between being one and eating one, he laughed. I guess you wouldn't know. Though maybe you can enlighten me as to how that jealousy thing works when you're hiding in trees and filming someone else's relationship.
It was Sam's idea. I had no desire to have my eyes burned out of their sockets.
You could have fooled me the way you spent 3 whole weeks glaring at me every chance you got.
What does that have to do with anything?
Relax, would you? It's not like it was a real relationship anyway.
The humor quickly dispersed from his tone.
She hates me, remember? You're not missing much.
It was plenty real. At least she still wears the gemstone.
What?
Vance had not been aware of that and got up as she mentioned it. I saw her wearing it, Ren said dismissively.
What do you mean you saw her wearing it?
His voice suddenly grew quite stern.
Elaborate.
She was at the bus stop. It was around her neck. Why does it matter?
Why does it matter?
A shift in the air spoke volumes for his temperament.
You told me she was repulsed by me, that she never wanted to see me again. Why the fuck would she be wearing it?
I don't know, Vance. I'm not a high school girl.
You lied, didn't you?
His gaze narrowed, though his tone remained stoic. Since we're being honest with each other, yeah, I did. Closing his eyes, he turned away.
That was one truth I didn't need to know.
You can't build anything without honesty. As far as I'm concerned, we're squared. Now I think I'll take a nap before I start conducting myself in an inappropriate manner. You can go out.
What? You mean like out?
Yeah, but don't use your ability to feed on more than 2 people. Or is that too little?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you, if you show up on the news, I'll hurt you.
I'm not the one who's going to show up on the news. Never have, never will.
See that you don't, she said darkly. I'm warning you, Vance. 2 is the limit.
Yeah, whatever.
With a roll of his eyes, he snapped his fingers and vanished in a burst of black smoke. As rain drifted, Vance made his way to the nearest casino. Taking on Rorik's appearance, considering his own would just get him chased out of the city, he managed to get in after 10 minutes of subjective arguing and a couple of well-placed lies. Taking instantly to the card tables, he sat down, and within several hours had accumulated not only a surplus of chips, but quite a fascinated crowd. By the time Rain awoke, there was already word on the streets. It hadn't taken long for news to travel, and it wasn't all that much later that security began to notice. I think we got a card counter over at the poker tables, one of the staff mentioned in passing. Walking up to him, a guard tapped him across the shoulder. I think you need to leave. Vance met the eyes of the rather accusative casino boss and pursed his lips.
Right after I collect my winnings,
he said, sloughing his chips into a bag. He knew from both experience and hearsay that it was better to get out when told. Regardless, he'd made quite a killing. Rain was already waiting outside, looking very annoyed. Do you like the attention? She asked with crossed arms.
Aw, what's the matter, goth chick? Somebody jealous?
No, annoyed. I can't let you go anywhere. Vance stuffed the money into his jeans and shrugged.
Oh, come on. That's what we came here for, isn't it? Besides, it's only been one night. I got a lot more casinos to hit before they throw us out for good.
Throw you out, she corrected.
You're just jealous I made upward of 10 grand in 4 hours while all you made was drool on a pillow.
Please, I could make that sort of money if I tried hard enough. No card counting necessary.
On a street corner, maybe.
And that's easy money. She kept a straight face. I'd make far more than you.
Want to bet on it?
I don't want to ruin your life by winning. I mean, you'd actually have to put in the effort. I could just bat my eyelashes at some geriatric and become a millionaire overnight.
I can jinx a slot machine, Vance said with a smirk. I generally like to play fair, but if you don't, then I might as well make a little extra cash on the side. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go get something to eat, and unless you want to watch, maybe you should scram.
I'm gonna go get my own dinner, thank you, Ren said before turning.
Have fun with them BJs. Don't make too much. Don't want the police to find you passed out in a coma.
You're disgusting. Slinking out of the alley, Ren leaned against a wall, waiting patiently for the first fool to become her meal. Vance likewise did not have trouble finding dinner that night. After decimating 2 hookers and leaving their bodies in the void to rot, he started back to the hotel, only to stop along the way when something caught his eye. He returned about 2 hours later, looking quite pleased, not to mention considerably sleepy. Paying no mind to the sirens, he shuffled along with hands in his pockets and took his sweet time getting back. What did you do? Rain asked, catching a whiff of cheap perfume.
I followed your rules. 2 people, no more, no less. Give me a break.
Wandering to bed, his image returned to his own and he plopped down on top of the mattress. Vance, tell me the truth. I smell perfume on you.
Yeah, because I killed 2 hookers, he shrugged without opening his eyes.
Lonely much? Why are the cops blaring? Did you have anything to do with that?
Nope.
Rolling on his side, he reached for a pillow and his clothes were replaced by bright red pajamas.
Now, if you'd mind terribly shutting up.
What did you do? She demanded again.
I made up for 3 weeks of lost time, he yawned. And I think I might have had a little too much, so I'd appreciate it if you'd stop talking so I could sleep it off.
I can't believe you! She flung a glass at him, which he caught and set across the nightstand unmarred.
You shouldn't be throwing things. It's unladylike.
Yeah, well, you're definitely no gentleman.
Fine by me. You want to know that badly? Check the news tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be a hell of a circus.
He snickered and laid back down while the sirens continued, inevitably leading to a horrific news report the next morning as police and zookeepers alike were baffled by how over 300 animals could have simply dropped dead. Rain slept terribly. Flipping on the news around 6, she broke the remote in half when she heard the details. Vance hadn't moved an inch, and had it not been for the gentle rise and fall of his chest, might have been presumed dead. Rain woke him by slamming her fist across his abdomen. 300 animals? She screamed in outrage while he curled into a ball and let out a wheeze. What the shit is wrong with you? He hissed, rocking back and forth in pain.
You have a chip on your shoulder about the humans? Now you're going to get on my case about animals too?
300? Seriously, Vance, why? Spitting a mouthful of blood onto the sheets, he continued to nurse his sides.
I was hungry, damn it! McDonald's kills more than that every fucking day, and you don't seem to have a problem eating there.
Protected species, Vance. Does that mean anything to you? Do you seriously have to slaughter everything? Recognizing her look, he bore his teeth, which were currently shaded red.
Survival of the fittest, bitch. Maybe if you were actually a real vampire and not some worthless half-breed, you would have a better idea as to what that meant.
It's not survival. You're massacring things to get back at me. I've been letting you feed, and you've purposely tried to find loopholes just to fuck me over.
What? You're insane. I haven't had anything decent to eat in almost 2 months. I found a loophole because I'm starving. I couldn't give a rat's ass whether or not you hate me for it. The world does not revolve around you.
You stopped eating because of your stupid bitch, she said angrily. Get out.
With pleasure.
Closing around him, the darkness parted, leaving her alone in the room, while on the opposite side, Vance stormed off to summon Rose. Pulling his cards from his pocket, he threw the queen to the ground and stood with crossed arms as she gave him a questionable look.
Don't start with me right now. I'm in no mood.
Rose tilted her head.
We don't need to rehash who's right and who's wrong here. I don't care. I tried, Rose. I tried so fucking hard and it didn't make an ounce of difference. Liz wouldn't even give me a chance. And Rain?
He choked back a scoff.
If that girl's head were screwed on any more lopsided, it'd be backwards. Doesn't matter. If that's what they want, then who am I to deny them?
Handing her an ace, he watched with a stone-faced expression as it transformed her back into the grotesque-looking maiden who had previously struck him the night of the dance. Reaching into his pocket, he drew another card and looked down at it with a blank expression.
I don't want to feel anymore, he said as he handed it to her. Remove all of it. Permanently.
Rose seemed slightly taken, although did not object as she opened her claws and the playing card began to hover in her palm. Giving off a faint white light, it illuminated the face value to reveal the Joker.